The E here stands for environment. If it's too hot, too cold, too comfortable, too uncomfortable, too bright, too dark, too long, too short, you're making it hard for yourself to captivate your audience's attention because you're allowing them an unwanted distraction. Be attentive to your audience, and if you pick up on a problem as best you can, fix it. So, the first three techniques that I promised you in order to get your audience involved in your talk. T, tag questions. H, hand raises. E, environment. Be in control of it. Back to daydreaming. According to an article in Forbes, 91% of listeners at business presentations admit to daydreaming. An impressive 39% admit to falling asleep at some stage during a presentation. So far, you all seem to be awake, so thank you for that. The point here is that you don't get a dynamic, engaged crowd by accident. It's our job as public speakers to allow the audience to participate, to get them to interact, to make them feel that getting involved in what we have to say is a better use of their time than daydreaming. Movement is great for this. It's disruptive. It raises the energy in the room. We've just seen that with the hand raise. Physical activity helps break your audience out of boredom because, generally speaking, although being a spectator can be good, being an active participant is way better. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? That's why we're going to be doing an exercise shortly. The Y here is for yes, yes, yes. Raise your hands if you've got kids. Kids provide a bottomless mine of illustrations for your talks. You know how kids will ask you for something and you give it on that, then they come back for more, and well, you feel you may as well give on that. Then comes the third concession, and so you shake your head and you realize you've been played like a piano. There's a principle here. To mix the metaphor, once you've got your foot in the door, it becomes a whole lot easier to push it open. How does that apply to persuading your audience? Well, some of you will have heard of the work of Robert Cialdini on the science of persuasion. He calls what we've been discussing the law of consistency. In short, say yes the first time, you're more likely to say yes the second time. Say yes the second time, you're more likely to say yes the third. It's powerful. The takeaway here is that you must get your audience into the habit of saying yes. Because when you get your audience saying yes throughout your talk, they're more likely to say yes to whatever it is you want them to do, whatever action it is you want them to take at the end of your talk. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? So, get your audience to agree with you and get them to do it again and again and again. Understood? The E here is for eye contact. This is the last technique we've got time for. All together now. Here are 10 reasons pulled from Inc.com why you should look at your audience one at a time. And it doesn't matter how big or small that audience is. 1. Focusing your eyes helps you to concentrate. When your eyes roam, they take in irrelevant information and that slows down your brain. 2. If you don't make eye contact with your listeners, you don't look authoritative, you don't look believable, you don't look confident, and that will hurt your presentation. 3. When you don't look at people directly in the eye, they are less likely to look at you. And when they don't look at you, they stop listening to you. And when they stop listening to you, they stop thinking about what you have to say. And when that happens, it's game over. That's 4. I can count, honest. The converse of this is that if you do look someone in the eye, he or she is more likely to look at you. If they look at you, they're more likely to listen to you. If they listen to you, they're more likely to buy both you and your message. 5. When you look at a person in the eye, you communicate confidence and belief in your point of view. With apologies to the poet W.B. Yeats, conviction is everything. Because if you're not convinced about what you've got to say, why should your audience be? 6. Sustained, focused eye contact actually makes you feel more confident. And it makes you act more assertively. With practice, it becomes a habit that gives you power. 7. When your listeners can see your eyes scanning their faces, they feel invited to engage with you. They feel encouraged to signal to you how they feel about what you're saying. Now, you obviously speak with words. They speak with nods, with frowns, with skeptical raisings of the eyebrows. And this really is number 8. You've moved your audience now from a position where they were simply passive receivers of information to active participants in what you're doing. You're not talking at them anymore. You're engaged in a dialogue. You speak words, and as I've said, they respond with gestures, with facial expressions, and so your presentation has now been transformed almost magically into a conversation. But note, and this is number 9, to have a successful dialogue with your audience, you must respond to what your audience is saying, or what they're signaling, to be more precise. You see, skepticism, you start with, I know it seems hard to believe, but you see excitement. You say, it's amazing, isn't it? 10. Finally, when you look at someone in the eye for between 5 and 7 seconds, you will naturally slow down your speech, which will make you sound more presidential. In fact, you will find that you are able to pause, something which, regardless of what you may think of as politics, enabled Barack Obama to become a powerful and effective orator. Show me your hands if you think 7 seconds sounds like a long time. I'm sure Tony or Rob would confirm that it quickly becomes perfectly natural. Don't be robotic though, but do share the love with everyone. Anyone in the audience seem disengaged? Grab them in an eye hug and watch their resistance float away like a cloud. So there we have it, the eye. I promised to give you 6 techniques that would enable you to improve your public speaking. We've done that with the eye. Yes or yes? Can anyone remember what's missing here from what I promised you at the start of this talk? There we go. It's the 2 magic words. They were on the first slide. Yep. Please and thank you. Please is one of the most feel-good words in the language. Do we have any Portuguese speakers in the room? One of my wife's best friends is from Brazil. She once pointed out that in Portuguese, the word please is hardly ever used. You're lost, I'm afraid. You see, the word please just makes everybody feel good. So, sprinkle some politeness on your presentations and watch how your audience begins to feel good about themselves. You see, you do that, and they'll feel good about the way you make them feel. They feel good about that, they feel good about you. Some of you will have heard of Zig Ziglar. Anybody heard of Zig Ziglar? Yes? Yeah? Great. Well, one of the things that Zig is famous for is for telling us how important it is to have an attitude of gratitude. Thank your audience. You know, there's a whole science behind it. Dr. Robert Emmons wrote a book called Thanks, How the New Science of Gratitude Can Make You Happier. Genuinely thank your audience, and they will feel good. It's that feel-good factor again. You want your audience to feel good about themselves when you're talking to them, right? But more than that, genuinely thank your audience and you will feel good too. And it's a virtuous circle because if you feel good, you give that to the audience. The audience, of course, they feel good and they send that back to you. It's beautiful. So, do mind your P's and Q's. Now, Tony has an exercise here for you, which will give you the opportunity to put all that you've learned so far into practice. At the start of this short talk, I made 3 promises, 3 bold guarantees. Number 1, that you would learn something new. Show me your hand if you've learned something new. Great. Number 2, you would learn something that would increase your confidence in public speaking. Show me your hand if you've learned something that would increase your confidence in public speaking. Wonderful. And then thirdly, I said you would find something that would enable you to, that you would be able to put into practice immediately. Can you show me your hand if you found something that you can put into practice immediately, even if it's just looking at somebody in the eye? Well, that's great. And finally, for being so generous with your concentration, can I say a heartfelt thank you?